I wanted to also thank you and acknowledge the fact that you said that you're an ET experiencer. Now, we all mentioned that we were part of the UAP Society, so I have to ask this question since I've got you on. What's your current opinion about the area of disclosure? Like, we have a lot of things going on in the law. There's a lot of Congress people talking about it. We had the UAP hearings in the summertime. What's your opinion on all that? What's Vagrein's opinion on all that? And where do you see it all going?
So I don't think anything is, from what I understand, it's all, even the whole argument, like the whole conversation around disclosure is simply conversation at this point, in that yes there are people who have known and who do know more and haven't shared that openly, and none of it is not orchestrated in terms of everything, in terms of what the actual aliens want us to know at this point is exactly on the right timeline. Everything's perfect in the right timeline, including those who want more disclosure, including those who are advocating, so it's not like, oh, we should keep everything under wraps for the rest of forever. It's our human game in this particular story, is exactly on track. Okay. So as you're seeing more, we are seeing more things becoming mainstream, and as we're seeing more people wanting to go and fight the secrecy, or you're seeing more people, having conferences and congresses and more people coming together, that is the soft disclosure, right? Okay. There won't be a hard disclosure.
Okay.
Because there can't be. Okay.
Okay.
And it is because of that love that is felt for us. Okay. The only situation in which you'll have a hard disclosure would be in a situation where we as human beings choose the storyline of perceiving of a foreign energy as malevolent, which we could choose that. We could choose that we all want to have, the typical Hollywood battle with the sky. Like, we could choose that. We could call that into our experience. But even that would only be for our evolution, right? Because we do have soul contract with whatever we're interacting with. So right now, because we're still on this benevolent timeline that we're still choosing, and we are choosing, and I do know that the energies are benevolent that are circulating. And yes, there's all the other stuff. You've heard the stories. We don't need to go into it. Everything exists that can, okay? But there is the higher game playing field, right? So even things that you could perceive of as evil on a certain level are here to stimulate us more so than to actually harm us, okay? So the soft disclosure will, because we like to do things this way for some reason, will bring us to a point where the majority of people will, first of all, perceive of themselves as knowing this was going to happen. Okay. And we're getting there. Okay. Second of all, the majority of people will be like, it's fine. AI has a lot to do with this as well, by the way. So the introduction of AI is also a soft form of disclosure. And the majority of people will be like, yeah, I can handle this. This is just like the normal evolution of what should happen, right?
Take it in stride.
Take it in stride. But because they'll have been prepared for it, okay? And we are all getting prepared for it in very subtle ways.
We're fabric. We're doing that right now in this interview.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's part of it.
Totally,
it's part of the game.
In the fabric of, and we're doing our part.
And it is that's those soul contracts. I don't think you need to be aware of the fact that you're an experiencer. I think there's probably about 80% of experiencers don't even know that they were. I come across clients all the time.
I'm probably one of those.
Like it's funny. Like, I can tell and they can't, because it's something that it's okay to not know. But you know what? You wouldn't be interested in this topic if you weren't. To be honest, like, it's just anyone listening here. Like, if this is interesting to you,
chances are
it's relevant to you. Okay.
Right.
And so, not to say that you were ever on a spaceship or blah, 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 but you have a soul contract with this conversation as well. You have a soul contract with this information, with this energy. And you don't have to be, I really don't know, like what my importance is in terms of experiencing. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that I'm that unusual. I just happen to have had a remembrance and some level of communication around that remembering. And so I'm like, oh, okay. But it took me a long time to understand if that was real or not as well.
I resonate with that message.
For doing what you do and telling your story and putting yourself out there, because I feel like you are, aligning with your true self, doing that, obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think this
now,
is a good time to ask your
we only have a few
question.
minutes left, and we want to
Sure.
honor your time. And I have a question that I always ask everybody. So what is your greatest hope for the future of humanity?
Okay, so I hope, and this is like Vagrein's like he. I hope everyone can really come to really loving themselves. I really feel like that is one of the huge keys, because everyone has something beautiful. But a lot of people, I feel they can't see it or find it because at some point they kind of felt like they were omitted from the gift of being blessed with being divine or something. And I feel like if people could come back to remembering that, we're so beautiful, then we'd stop killing each other. And I kind of have a preference that people aren't killing each other. Right. So my hope is that we'll stop killing each other. But I don't think that we can stop killing each other without remembering that, like, inside of our own selves, that there's something beautiful there. Once you've seen that, you can't hurt someone else.
Right.
Once you see somebody else as another aspect of you, how could you, right?
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
It really is all about love.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's also okay. I think that's the other thing. Vagrein explained quite recently, that they say that word "anai" at the end of their transmissions, and nobody ever knew what it was. And then people started asking, well, what is that? And they tried to describe it, and they were like, they were saying that they would say alternately to that, all is well. But the minute you say all is well, it excludes something else, because it almost puts in your mind that something could not be well. Like, it kind of makes you go like, if all is well, like, maybe tomorrow something's not well, right? But it's like, it transcends that. It's like everything's fine. Like,
everything is okay.
Okay.
That's
okay.
like Leslie's famous phrase. Everything is fine. Everything is okay.
Everything is fine. It's all okay. And this like really calm thing, and just to really grasp that. We're not, interestingly, life always ends the same way, right? We all get the same ending. And, Leslie, you're talking about like near-death experiences. Like, we all know what's coming in some way, right? Like, there's the end of this particular story, and then you go and do something else. Okay. So it's worth really enjoying now. And we forget that so often. And so, like, it'd be so nice if people could do that. That's my hope for humanity, too.
Beautiful answer. Can you please tell our audience where they can find you and what upcoming events you may want to share with everybody? I know you have a retreat in the summer in Italy, right? Go into all that.
I do. Yeah. Okay. So, you can find me at www.jpherman.com.